name is Blair Kuhn. Through the course of the years, I've adjudicated both color guard and percussion. I've designed for percussion and color guard as well. So over the last 20 years, I've moved into the adjudication world.
My name is Rothe. I'm from Southern California. I've had a long career as a designer in the activity and as a instructor. Some of the programs I worked with were Ayala High School and Rancho Cucamonga High School, and I was also one of the co-founders of Pulse Percussion. After my teaching days and designing days were kind of over, I transitioned into more of an admin role, and I currently serve as the president of the Southern California Percussion Alliance, and I'm also the percussion education coordinator for WGI Sport of the Arts.
So I think the importance of a critique session with the judges is getting that feedback in a little bit deeper than maybe we would have if we're just giving the commentary and that's all they hear.
It's your one chance to be able to sit down with those that may be evaluating your program and really engage in a dialogue about what are my ensemble's strengths and weaknesses right now. Sometimes when we listen to that recorded commentary, that's one directional. The judge is taking in the performance and giving you real-time feedback. That's incredibly valuable, but there's no exchange of ideas there.
But we're able to dig a little bit deeper into what we observed from the programs and provide them with maybe a little bit more, meat and detail in what they may be able to utilize in kind of developing the programs.
So for me, critique is the chance where we can sit down and we can learn from each other, we can grow from one another, and as an instructor, that's the chance for me to be able to get my questions answered. So I would recommend coming in with some questions for that critique session, and then getting your questions answered by the judge and having this exchange of information where we both grow and both learn more about one another and how to make our ensemble the most successful it can be.
I think the most important thing about the do's in critique are listening to your commentary. I think that's important because then you know what we have reflected on our observations of the program.
The first thing is do make sure you listen to your commentary. You got to know what the judge said prior to arriving to critique.
It's important to come in with an open mind. We're going to provide you with an opinion based on the criteria that's on the sheets.
Also, do make sure that you're formulating some questions, and I would really recommend that you write those down and to come into critique with those questions ready to go. Usually about 3 questions for each judge is kind of the way to go with that. But just remember, you are going to be the one that's kind of in charge of critique. Critique belongs to the instructors, so that is your 3 minutes to use however you'd like. Come in with a game plan ready to go.
And when I was an instructor, I always used to think of critique as, I'm going to go in and get some questions answered. Or I'm going to find some different questions that I didn't think about going into this setting.
In terms of don'ts, the one thing I would recommend is you may have heard some things in the commentary you disagree with. There may even be some things that you feel upset about. Try to check that at the door before you get in so that you can have a really productive dialogue. You may not agree with every single judge, and that's okay. That is part of the process. It is opinion-driven after all.
And I think some of the don'ts in the critique setting is coming in defensive. We love to protect our art, we love to protect our students, and sometimes you don't necessarily always hear what you want to hear, or you don't always get the result you want. Again, it's important to come in with an open mind so that you can come out of it with some questions to answer yourself to help your program move forward.
So just make sure that you're open-minded when you sit down for critique and that you try to get that exchange of information off to a great start as quickly as possible.